Hey guys, it's Gawain, and today we are going to be looking at perhaps one of the best operators on attack right now, Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi is a 3-speed 1-armor attack operator that specializes in roam clearing and intel gathering. She's got an amazing primary gadget, a great passive, decent guns, and good secondary gadgets. Good Dokkaebi players can frustrate the hell out of an enemy team, so let's learn how to play her. Dokkaebi is equipped with her Code Kabooms, of which she gets 2. This ability is effectively a global prank call for all of the defenders that are still alive. Dokkaebi gets her iPad out and does a 4-second animation before making all of the defenders' phones vibrate for a maximum of 12 seconds. Defenders can hold the button, the 5 key by default on PC, to do a 5-second cancelling animation to get rid of it sooner. Whilst the call is active, the defenders won't be able to access cameras, dead defenders won't be able to view camera feeds, and the alive defenders' phones will be buzzing, making a distinct and very easy to hear sound cue. This ability is amazing because it allows you to know exactly where every defender is for a minimum of 5 seconds, sneak past cameras whilst the call is active, and pick up kills whilst defenders are stopping your call. Since you only have 2 of these calls, timing is everything. I tend to use one when entering a building or just pushing for some map control, because it means I don't have to drone as well or as much due to the sound cues created by the logic bomb. If you don't hear anything after you call the defenders, then you know there's nobody nearby unless they have a mute. More on that later. If you do hear a defender buzzing, swing them because they are either going to be disabling their phone or they will struggle to hear you as well because of the buzzing in their ears. I find this ability most useful for tracking down roamers, or at least initially, because you can drone yourself into a building and then call the defenders to try and kill anyone roaming outside of sight. If the defender starts running away, then you can still hear them and chase them down to hopefully kill them. My second use of the call is either more roam clearing if the first call failed, or preferably before pushing into sight. This way you can help your team execute the site by alerting them to every defender's position, and you don't even need to be near site to do it. If you notice your team going for a push or site execute, then call to help them out, because there will be 2 to 3 defenders on site if the team you're playing against is smart and you killed all the roamers. Hopefully your teammates will be able to kill the defenders on site because of your call, or at least get the diffuser down to win the round. Dokkaebi's Code Kaboom uses are pretty simple. Just use them to find defenders to kill when you deem necessary, and just try not to use them too close together because otherwise they may both get wasted. But wait, Dokkaebi has a passive that combos with this ability very well. So let's say you've done a successful roam clear, used one of your logic bombs and killed both roamers. Both of them dropped their phone upon death, leaving it to be hacked by you. When you go up to a drop defender's phone, you have the ability to hack it in a 6-second animation and access all of the defender's cameras, including special primary gadget cams such as Maestro turrets or Echo drones. This ability allows you to gather way more intel than the defenders with all of their cameras, your team's drones, and your logic bombs. You are an intel gathering powerhouse. You can see a phone icon through the map, so if a teammate gets a kill right at the start of the round, make sure to go to the phone and hack it, as you will swing the round in your favour with that much intel so early on. It's worth noting that cameras with special abilities such as bulletproof cameras, echo drones, etc. cannot be controlled by Dokkaebi. You can only view the camera feeds. To summarise this section, logic bomb when you or your teammates are pushing so camera feeds can't spot you, but you can find the enemy due to the sound cue, and hack the enemy's phones when they die to get loads of intel. Dokkaebi's primary weapon options are the Mark 14 EBR marksman rifle and the Boss G .12.2 shotgun. Her secondary weapon options are the SMG-12 machine pistol, the C75 machine pistol, and the GON-6 hand cannon. I personally use the Mark 14 EBR in combination with the SMG-12. The Mark 14 is a great DMR, it's got good damage, a decent semi-automatic fire rate, and a good mag size. It's reliable. It can open up soft hatches of these, and you can choose whatever scope you want to, up to the 3x zoom. I find it's good in both long and close ranged combat, but not as good in close ranged, so I bring the SMG-12 for close quarters engagements. The SMG-12 is an amazing secondary weapon with the fastest fire rate in the game and a 32+1 mag size, as well as alright damage. The only drawback to this gun is the high recoil, both vertical and horizontal, but you do get the hang of it, especially if you only take close ranged engagements with it. This being said, the Gon 6 could be a better option for Dokkaebi's secondary weapon. I tend to use her DMR with a 1.5 tone scope, so I don't actually need to swap to my SMG-12 for close quarters combat, so if you are like me in that sense, you may want to use the Gon 6 for added utility. You can destroy a piece of bulletproof utility with it to weaken the enemy's defenses, open a hatch instantly for a rush if you're going for that, or burn an ADS for a teammate's frag grenade to go by. The C75 is also one of Dokkaebi's secondary weapon options, but I hate it because the iron sights are borderline useless, and the only redeeming quality of it is its fire rate. The SMG-12 is just a better C75 in every single way. It is personal preference on secondary weapons, but I'd choose between the SMG-12 or the Gon 6 if I were you. Back to primary weapons, the Boss G12.2 is a meme gun. A 2-round magazine with insanely high recoil and a bad fire rate anyway makes this weapon terrible. Sure, you can one-shot down people, but you can 2 or 3 shot kill people with Doki's DMR, which is much easier to use. Don't use the Boss G unless you're memeing because it really isn't competitively viable. In terms of secondary gadgets, Dokkaebi gets access to 2 smoke grenades, 3 stun grenades, or 2 impact EMPs. All of these can be useful, so you need to know what to use to adapt to your team in the map. I mostly use the impact EMP grenades to free up a teammate from playing Thatcher or Kali, so I can disable what's on the wall and we can get main breach open. I also like using them on Maestro cams to open up their soft spots so I can shoot them out. I just find impact EMPs super cool and a great addition to Siege. Smoke grenades were my other go-to before the EMPs were added to the game for several reasons. You can block sight lines and cover your planter with them, but most importantly, you can cover yourself whilst hacking a phone in a slightly risky position. Smoke grenades are super useful in Siege as they allow you to pass through into a new position without having to peek a certain angle. Stun grenades, or flashbangs, can be useful too, but not as useful as your other options in my opinion. You can flash enemies whilst they're being called to get the freest kill of your life, burn grenade catching gadgets for your team, or delay a defender's peek by flashing where they are. It's personal and situational preference for secondary gadgets on Dokkaebi. I just lean towards the impact EMPs or the smoke grenades. During the drone phase, you want to do one of 2 things. Either save your drone by keeping it in spawn, or at least alive, or set up a flank cam. Setting up a flank cam, or just a camera in the room you're going to start pushing from, will allow you to know whether or not someone is in there from the start of the action phase, meaning you can start your roam clear almost immediately. To start off the action phase, do a little droning and get yourself into the building. Help out with the main breach by using your impact EMP grenades if you need to, but then go back to roam clearing. Start off by calling and going around a floor that is above or below sight to try and clear roamers out. If you or a teammate kill an enemy, go and hack the phone they drop to access all of the defender's cameras. Use them to see where the enemy is and start hunting them too. Call again when you deem necessary to hunt down the remaining defenders when the diffuser is planted. If there is only one person remaining, use your last call to track them down and get the round over with. There isn't really a defined way to use your call, so just use it when you think it's a good time. You do only have 2 of them, so you'll eventually learn good timings. Ideally, when you call, your teammates will track down and kill the enemy for you, so you can sit in the back line and watch as your teammates do the work for you. Dokkaebi has one counter: Mute. Mute's jammers will block your code kaboom when a defender is within its radius, and it will automatically cancel the call when in its radius. To prevent this, shoot out mute jammers where possible to maximize your call's potential, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue when roam clearing, as the radio jammers should be on site and not around it. Use your first call when entering a part of the building you haven't droned out to immediately gain an audio cue, or lack of one, to tell you if a defender is nearby or not. Use the Mark 14 EBR for a solid primary weapon that is consistently good at all ranges and can open up soft hatches for essentially nothing. Use your passive to hack into defender cams to see where they are hiding on site, as they will only be alerted by a voice line and a watermark on the camera feeds when any one of them looks at their phones. Use the SMG-12 to have an insane secondary weapon at your disposal if you need to fight close quarters with an enemy. Be the intel powerhouse Dokkaebi has the potential to be. Call for your team, drone for your team, and hack the defender's cameras to get the most intel on them possible. Overall, Dokkaebi is an easy operator to play in my opinion because you get 5 to 12 seconds of guaranteed intel based off just noise alone, and the ability to get onto defender cameras when one of them makes a mistake. She's got good guns, great intel, and a good speed rating. Learn when to use your calls, when it is safe to hack a defender's phone, when to drone for your team, how to control the SMG-12, and you are sure to become a pretty decent Dokkaebi player. Thank you all for watching, I do hope you enjoyed. As always, all the clips you saw in this video were taken from my Twitch stream, link will be on screen and in the description. If you found this guide helpful in any way, shape or form, please do consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends, as it does help grow the channel, which is very much appreciated. I'd like to thank you all for 150 subscribers, it really does mean a lot. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make any Apex guides at the minute because my PC's really going downhill, so I need to get that fixed. Wurmai is next for the Siege series, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Where is he?
Dead.